Good morning, guys. Today is Friday. We made it to the end of the week, girl. We made it to the end of the week, okay? But I wanted to get on here really quick. I know I've talked about nutrition before on another video, but here I am. I am back with more nutrition information, and I'll be really quick because I got to commute. So one thing I want people to realize, and I'm probably gonna do something that I ain't got no business doing, so don't do it. But one thing that I realize is that the whole conversation about nutrition is so big and so pivotal. But I believe this is worth saying, right? So I think once you understand that food is energy, right? So in order for you to see gains in terms of weight loss, you have to be able to put some energy out. But in that, you need the right foods, slightly over a deficit to be able to really build muscle. Because your muscle, like I said, I'm not going to go too deep. Your muscle has certain storage cabinets per se, that it needs to constantly keep the metabolic process going. And generally it's in carbohydrates. Okay. Most of us are terrified of carbohydrates. Here's the thing. Yes, carbs are good for you. Carbs are a main energy source, but just don't sit around and eat a sleeve of cookies all day. Okay. They are carbs, but you don't need a sleeve. Okay. So then if you feel like you need a sleeve, then you need to address overeating. Okay. Then you need to address like binge eating and why you're choosing to eat a sleeve. There's nothing wrong with admitting that you are an emotional eater. Admit that, fix it. Okay. So, but essentially carbohydrates are your friend and you need those. So you shouldn't eliminate those from your diet. Protein is good too. Okay. Same thing. You want to be very mindful of how much of it is in your diet. And there's certain calculators online that you can use because ultimately you should get 0.8 kilograms per pound of that person's weight. But you also want to factor in activity level and you want to also factor in gender. Now, one thing that I've noticed in just putting 2 and 2 together, maybe I'll write a meta-analysis about this later, who knows? But one thing that I noticed is that everybody is still on the term of cycle syncing. Bear with me, this is going somewhere, I promise. Okay, if you don't know what cycle syncing is, cycle syncing is basing your activity level based off of the week you are in your monthly cycle, meaning cycle usually starts on the first day of your period and ends on the day, usually the day before your next period starts. Okay, like I said, stay with me, it's going somewhere. So oftentimes when we start our periods, generally your body is saying, hey, we're not pregnant this month, so let's kind of restart this process over and over again. That's how amazing God is. We're able to do the same thing over and over again until it stops naturally on its own. Okay, so with that being said, your body is just kind of constantly going through a lot of different things on that day. So naturally, your natural response to the first day of your cycle, or usually the day before, or days leading like day 2, day 3, you're tired. Okay, you're pretty tired. I've been pretty tired before. So my thing is this: you don't have to cycle sync because number one, I haven't seen enough research to kind of validate its effectiveness. However, just because cycle syncing don't work for me, that does not mean that it don't work for you. You do what works best for your body. But I truly believe that if we take in certain foods to support the energy and the metabolic process of our body, I truly believe that most of us can work during the first couple of days of our period if we are just mindful of the things that we eat, if we are mindful of the activities that we do. Most of us are sleep deprived because we're trying to do a million things in a day. Most of us are in front of our screens too much every day, all the time. Most of us are not outside. Most of us are not getting in our vegetables. All that stuff essentially factors in as far as hormonal balance in terms of what goes on with your cycle. Now, I have been reading probably ever since my grandmother put me onto it many years ago. I have been reading that it is not normal for a female cycle to be so heavy that you soak through a pad in, I want to say, in less than 4 hours. Okay. Now, I understand, like, you might have a heavy day, that's fine. I got one of those too, okay? But however, it's not so heavy that I'm, going handling my business and then 1 hour later I've soaked through a pad. No, it ain't that heavy, okay? So yeah, we do have those heavy days, but if we are soaking through multiple pads all day, then we might have to address that to be some sort of hormonal off balance. But you want to think about it with the food we eat, okay? Essentially what diabetes, type 2 diabetes is insulin resistance, okay? Meaning it's almost like if you keep smelling something funky all the time, at one point you're gonna go nose blind to it, right? You're not gonna smell it. You're not gonna know that something stinks in here because you're so used to it, okay? Essentially, that's what diabetes really is. Your body is used to overconsumption of insulin that now your body doesn't even know if it's taking it in or not. You just taking it in, but your body has no regulatory limit. It's lost that receptor, okay? So one thing that I've learned about strength training is that strength training is a must to help with diabetes. It is a must. Even homeopathic doctors and regular traditional medicine physicians recommend. I ran into them that will tell you strength training will save your life. Not only does it help with the whole glucose management or insulin management, but essentially it helps with strengthening your bones, because as you place some stress and demand on top of your bones are going to remodel itself, okay? But because remodeling is happening, you need to supply the body with the right amount of energy and nutrients in it to support that process. And that's where food comes in. Come on back to food. Everything essentially that we do is evolved around food. Now, living in the States, okay, probably the worst diet on planet Earth, okay? I ain't even gonna lie to you. I'm pretty sure we have the worst diet on planet Earth, because you can go damn near anywhere else and the diet, you can eat nice and good and all this other stuff, and we don't be toe up, okay? We come back to the States, we eat this stuff, we be toe up, okay? So that's another indicator that the American diet is trash, but we still eat it. So, and I say we because sometimes that be me too. However, ultimately, if we are managing, like if we're mindful of our macronutrients, we're mindful of what is in these said things, then I think we should be good. So, something to chew on, something to think about. I hope this blesses you. Have a great day. I love you.